Welcome to Mighty Married Moms. Join us at our kitchen table twice a week as the Mighty Married Moms, Debbie,
Linda,
Wendy,
invite spectacular guests to weigh in on staying sexy, vibrant, and healthy,
building marriages with soul-satisfying connection, raising happy, healthy, successful kids.
Conversations with Mighty Married Moms will bring you closer to the life you really want.
Episode 96. Today's show is brought to you by Deborah C. Owen, Family and Life Coach at youcanraisegreatkids.com. If you are tired of worrying about the choices your kid is making, or tired of the stress of constantly arguing with your kids, or them arguing with each other, then don't wait until you are truly desperate. Get the help you and your family need and deserve today. Connect with your kids with calm compassion. Call Deborah Owen at 978-835-4354. Hi everyone, welcome back to Mighty Married Moms. We are going to talk about the conversation that we just had with Dr. Amanda Flowers, who is a clinical psychologist, and she had just so many really actionable, easy, doable tips for us to share with you about how to make your life better.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. So a couple of the things we were talking about how to deal with stress as a caregiver, as a parent, or taking care of your own parents, or being in that sandwich, or just kind of stress in general. And she listed a whole bunch of things right off the bat. So have smaller goals. In other words, you can have a big goal, but break it up into smaller chunks. That's always so much better. Always so much better.
Right.
And choose to hang around with positive people. Don't let yourself get brought down by the people you're hanging out with. And then make sure.
What if you're married to them?
Well, let me finish, and then we'll come back to that. Let people help you, because that's really important. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And do activities that you find enjoyable. Make sure that you leave time for yourself, whether that means taking a bubble bath a couple of times a week, or doing your exercise every day, or whatever it might be. Make sure you schedule in time for yourself. And that was the other thing she talked about, was the schedule.
I thought that was great.
Yes. Detailed schedule.
Detailed everything.
Everything.
Yeah. I have to say, I have a friend who's a very successful entrepreneur, and I once looked at his schedule for the day, and he even had cutting my toenails, and I thought, you have cutting toenails on your schedule? And he said, I put everything on my schedule. And he said, and when you cross it off and it's done,
it gives you
those
such a feeling of
endorphins are released. You know, there's something to that.
Interesting.
And I thought, wow.
Endorphins.
And at the time I was like, that's so silly, right? But now, of course, listening today, I'm thinking, well, that's probably one of the key reasons he is so successful.
Is because it's a little reward, actually.
Yes.
And our brains love rewards.
A little hit.
It's a little hit. You get a little bit of extra dopamine, and when you check something off your list, that's a reward.
Yep.
That's interesting, because there's a whole study of something called gamification, which means making a game
out of everything.
Yeah. Teaching a kid how to drive, teaching, learning how to garden, whatever it is. If there's a reward system, human beings are innately drawn to that, cha-ching, bring on the reward. And so it's kind of an interesting thing, the schedule, as opposed to, I was thinking of it as more like anal retentive kind of thing, like being very rigid. But if you turn it into a game saying, all right, these are 10 things I want to accomplish by the end of the day, and every time I cross one off, I'm going to get a little hit, that changes it for me.
I like that. I like putting it in the context of a game.
Yeah.
That's a totally different refrain.
Or a contest, or something.
Challenge.
Yeah, challenge. A challenge. I like that word. Personal challenge. Yeah, that's really helpful. And you have to also build in the compassion, which says, I didn't do all 10, I did 8. And I'm feeling pretty fat and snappy about that. Yeah, exactly.
Because you know what? If you didn't write down the 10, there's a good chance you wouldn't have done the 8.
That's right.
Oh, you probably would have only done 2.
Exactly.
That's what I've found.
And
when I'm not diligent about putting stuff in my calendar, I don't get stuff done.
Yeah.
So true.
Shocking.
Right.
That's when it's so easy for distractions to take over and become priority, because you haven't set those priorities yet for your day.
Okay, so here's a new one I learned this week, and it's all about this. Every day, every night before you go to bed, look at the things all right, actually, we're going to back up. On Sundays, take a little bit of time, half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it is, and write down absolutely everything you might want to accomplish this next week.
Okay.
Everything. Brain dump. Okay?
Brain dump.
Brain dump. Everything you want to accomplish. I'm going to give Dan Meredith credit for teaching me this. Then every night, so you've done the brain dump for Sunday night, then the next step is write down the 5 or 6 big rocks, the things you're going to do. We've talked about big rocks before.
Yeah.
The big rocks, the things you're going to accomplish during the week, and write one of them down for each day.
Oh.
And then the night before, so like on Monday night, you look and say, okay, the big rock I'm going to accomplish on Tuesday is whatever it is, whether it's personal or business or whatever it might be. And then all the other stuff are the little rocks and sand that can fill in.
Right.
But every day, pick one big thing that you're going to do.
Right.
And then fill in all the other stuff. And that's what Amanda was talking about, is all the other stuff that gets filled in around the
and that
big
big rock concept, just for those of you who may not know this concept, if you picture a big giant glass jar, big giant glass vase, and you say the details of life are like grains of sand, like, you know, feed the dog, water the plants, whatever.
Do the grocery shopping.
Do the grocery shopping. You know, that might be a medium marble, or a big thing, which is, you know, pay the mortgage, or, you know, go to the bank or something. Something big. If you fill up your day with all the details, like then there might not be enough room in the jar for the big rocks. So the key is to put the big important things in first, and then pour in your sand, your little bits, then pour in your marbles or whatever, so that it all fills in the gaps. But if the big ones aren't in there to start with, filling it halfway up with the little things, you're not going to be able to jam the big ones in. So it's a really good concept, and so we kind of use a shorthand.
It's a great visual.
Use the big rocks.
Yeah.
You know, and so.
But I like
really,
what Amanda was saying about scheduling everything.
Yes.
Right.
I used to be more diligent about that, and I fell away from it.
Yeah.
I think because I wasn't very good at actually, you know, for like from 10 to 11, I would put 3 small things, and then I think it was a lot of effort actually to write all of the little things down. And so I will just say, if you're struggling with that too, if writing down all the little things is a lot of effort, just put the big rocks in, and then see if you can add in some of the small things. Because I've worked with this before. It's hard to do and stay consistent.
And I have to say, my friend who I was just talking about, entrepreneur, it's Steve Harris. I'm calling you out. Anyway, Steve used to tell me that when he was working in real estate, he would stay later in the office than everybody else because he would just take the time at the end of the day to write down what are my big goals for the next day. And everyone else thought, I don't need to do that. I know it. I got it in my head, and you know, and they wouldn't go the extra mile. And he was, of course, the top earner in the corporation because he just took that extra time. He told me it's really important to do that.
It is.
And again, I haven't stayed consistent. So Steve, here I'm learning years later what you told me a long time ago. You know, that those things are really important. So it does make sense, and I know when I do it, it makes a big difference in the next day. Big difference.
And so what that does is it gives you the feeling of accomplishment, and it helps you feel better, and then you're just more present, you're less stressed.
Right, and you save hours the next day for that 15 minutes you might have spent, or even a half an hour the night before, kind of planning it out. It saves you so much time the next day.
Right.
So if you want to have more time.
And those are 15 minutes that you can spend with your spouse, or with one of your kids, or just taking the dog for a walk, which is good for both of you, or you know, something.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And one of the other things that she said that I absolutely loved, and like I said, the second time I've heard it within the week, is learn to ask for help. Yeah. And if we don't learn that lesson, we are just really unnecessarily hampering ourselves. We're heaping much more weight on our shoulders. We're getting much more tired. Everything than we need to be. And I just can't get over how much that's impressed me, just learning to ask for help. Again, this is an interesting statistic I read in my marriage stuff this week, was that they asked, I think it was 1,000 couples, 2 questions, asked it of both parties, man and woman, and they were in separate rooms when they asked them. They said, how much do you love your person? And 98% of all the people said, I love my person.
Your partner?
My partner. Yeah, my wife, my husband. They're the best. I just adore them. I just think they're the best. I just love, you know, the overwhelming, very positive regard for their husband or their wife. And then they asked him a second question. How much do you think that person loves you? 46% of the people answered, I think they love me quite a bit. But there was a gap between, I know I love my husband Jeff 1,000,000%, but I'm about halfway sure that he loves me 1,000,000%.
Wow.
And it went both ways for all the people involved. So the suggestion is that gap is where we fall in trouble in relationship, is because when Jeff says something to me like, Wendy, could you pick up the towels? If I'm halfway sure that he really likes me or cares about me, I might be more resentful and kind of get into it. But if I knew 100% that he loved me and it just came from a good place, if I trusted. So my point being in this part about asking for help is to just really trust that the other person that you're attached to in your relationship really does care about you, and ask them for some help in your day-to-day life. Right. You know, like if you're looking at your schedule, the schedule that we've just decided we're all going to write, and you go, oh my goodness gracious, I need to offload some of this. That person that you're married to would be an ideal person to ask for help from.
Yeah, or
but
a
if we're not
friend,
skilled at asking,
or a friend,
or if it's business, you want to offload some of those tasks that are harder to get done.
Right, because
There's
a
all
lot
kinds of ways.
people are single parents too.
Yeah, true. And asking your boss, did you love when she said that?
Really
Yes, absolutely.
That was smart.
Yeah.
Scary though.
Yeah,
It's scary.
It is scary to ask your boss for some help.
Yeah.
Yep. Because you're afraid maybe that will label you as the employee that doesn't want to work as hard. I think it's all in the way that you frame it.
Sure.
Right? It's like, I know I can be more productive, and this is why. You have to just present it in the right way. But I think a lot of us don't think to ask that when we're working for somebody else, because it is scary.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Well, don't they say that most jobs today, I mean, that's the way that all my friends are talking about, that everybody feels that they have the job of 2 or 3 people.
That's very true.
So I guess kind of approaching it from that angle, not like going into your boss's office with an attitude necessarily, but just to say, you know, I am doing 67 things. I'm doing 67 things, and it'd be great if I could do 64 or whatever, you know, or is there a way that we could make this workable, you know? So asking for help is so key, and it doesn't come naturally.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah. It is. You know, and we were talking about why is that, particularly for women. We just don't. You know, and she was saying that we want to be superheroes.
Oh, yeah.
So why do we want to be superheroes? Do we feel like we have to be superheroes to have our own a self-worth thing? Is it is it a confidence thing? Is it a self-esteem thing that we feel we're not enough, so therefore we have to, overachieve somehow, maybe?
I don't know.
I think it is wrapped up in self-esteem.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, and then she also talked, we got into a little bit more about couples, and Dr. Amanda talked about making time to be with your partner.
Yeah.
And how
on a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
15 minutes.
You know, I talk all the time about making sure you spend 10 minutes a day with each of your children. Children.
1-to-1.
1-to-1. But you need to do that with your partner.
Yeah.
Too. Otherwise, you're going to have the same issues in terms of lack of communication and misunderstandings and added stress.
Yep.
Whereas if you spend 15, 20 minutes a day with your partner, putting other things aside, and Amanda gave us some great tips on how to do that, even in the home.
With the kids in the other room.
With the kids in the other room.
Yep.
You just find a way to do it.
Yeah. And not only are you finding time to have spending time with your partner, but I'm just thinking about how great it would be for me to get the attention from my husband too.
Sure.
Like I'm thinking of it when we say this to schedule in, like, oh, I need to give my husband some attention. Well, I'm getting it too.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't thinking that way before, but just hearing you say that, I'm going, yeah, it'd be nice to kind of have Jeff, look me in the eye, talking to me about things that are interesting or important that don't have to do with schedules and kids and money.
And that's the key too. You should schedule time to talk about schedules and kids, and then you should schedule time with your spouse where those subjects are taboo.
Verboten. Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that you remember why you got together in the first place.
Yes. Exactly. And I think it always feels sort of, you want your relationship, you sort of want to imagine it to be more organic, and we don't have to schedule. We shouldn't have to schedule, or all that. But
you do.
Forget about it. You do.
It's life.
It's just life, right? Life is busy. It's more busy now, I think, in modern times than it ever has been before.
Right.
And we're
scheduling it in the early days came very easily, didn't it? You moved aside your job. You moved aside. You go to see your parents. I have to go visit and hang out with him
because you were absolutely enthralled with each other.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Oxytocin was having its way with you.
Yes.
But nonetheless, no, it's true. There was a time when scheduling that person in was not a problem.
Yeah.
So we know how to do these things.
Yeah.
We know how to do these things.
And I also like her reminder to cultivate common interests. I do think it's really important for individuals to have individual interests, but it's really important for couples to have something that they love to do together.
Yeah.
More than something, if possible, but at least something.
Right.
You know, I know in our family, I've told our kids, if you ever want to be able to ski as a married person, it's best if you find somebody who likes to ski or snowboard, because otherwise they're not going to understand why you want to disappear all day on a Saturday and spend $90 plus doing that. They're just not going to understand.
Right.
So if you like to ski and you want to keep skiing into your adult life, find somebody who likes to ski and board.
Yeah, really. That's a really good tip.
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah. So there are a lot of activities like that too.
Yeah.
One of the things that my husband and I talked about, and so when our kids were little, one of the ways that we spent time as a family was we got involved in our local Minuteman company.
Oh, yeah.
And we did reenactments, and every member of our family either learned the fife or the drum, and we did basically sleepovers, you know, and I can't remember now off the top of my head what they were called, but we would go to these activities, and it was a really fun family activity. And that was something that we had never done before, but it was a new thing that we cultivated. Our daughter got us kind of interested in it when she was in about 4th or 5th grade, and we did it for years.
Oh, wow.
As a great family activity. So do stuff with your spouse or partner, but also find stuff you can do as a family, whether that's camping or joining a Minuteman company or going skiing or doing hiking or something that all of you love to do together.
Oh,
and I know that's easier said than done because
it is.
kids often have
I have to say, speaking of that, this is a small thing. That's like so cool that you guys did that. But I really miss, my husband and I both miss the elementary school days where we would, all the 4 of us, our 2 boys, and both of us would go and we would all ride our bikes to school. We would ride with our kids to school and, you know, ride our bikes back again. We'd ride back at the end of the day so they could ride their bikes back.
Oh, cool.
And it was really fun.
Yeah,
Just really fun.
That's such a simple thing to do.
So simple.
Yeah, right.
And it was great. You know, our youngest would be like speeding ahead, and, you know, and
be careful.
Yeah.
So you can find things like that to do as a family that really increase communication and reduce stress, hopefully.
And you know, I know we need to end. I need to end, but she said it, and I just really went in a different window this time. Is that Dr. Amanda said that stress distorts thinking.
Yes.
So reducing stress is going to give you a better quality of your life. You're going to be able to think more clearly and proceed more clearly.
Be more productive.
Be more productive. But if you're under stress, your thinking is distorted. Things are going to appear to be much more dire or consuming than they really are. And it's just such a waste of energy and waste of time, and it hurts the body, the stress of the... So I just really, you know, stress, we all say, oh yeah, stress is bad, but how can I avoid it? You'd have stress if you had my life too. But if you take if you go to that next step and say stress actually ruins the way that I think, and it's going to add more stress and agita in my life, then there's even more motivation for me to kind of take a look at stress.
One thing I can do today to reduce the stress in my life.
Totally.
Exactly.
One thing.
Right. And it could be hanging around with positive people.
Yeah, it could be listening to our podcast.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right. That's right.
Speaking of which,
yes,
we are the Mighty Married Moms, and we're thrilled that you were able to be with us today. I'm Debbie Owen from YouCanRaiseGreatKids.com.
I'm Linda Tighe from AllWellBreaksLoose.com.
And I'm Wendy Williams from ConnectAgain.org.
And we're thrilled that you were here with us today, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Please leave us a rating and a review on iTunes. That helps spread the message. And then also share this on social media and tell all your family and friends to listen to.
Tune in.
We'll see you next time. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Mighty Married Moms. Tune in twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays to meet fascinating and inspiring guests who will help you create the life you've always wanted.
You can find these episodes and special gifts just for you at mightymarriedmoms.com, as well as a link to our Facebook community,
where we continue the conversation around the kitchen table. Please also help share the love by leaving a review on iTunes. We'll see you next time.